All right, now today I'm going to show you 5 very alpha traits that's not only going to improve your life, but this is going to actually help you attract the type of women in life that you want, because here's what you have to understand. Okay, the concepts that I talk about on this channel, whether you like them or not, does not make them any less relevant. The stuff that I talk about on this channel, you are going to have to internalize as a man, okay? So when I flip the screen and I show you these 5 traits, I want you to actually get out a notebook. I want you to write these down. I want you to internalize them, because this is going to be the make or break when it comes to your mental sanity and your masculinity, right? And living a fulfilling life, especially with a great quality woman, versus living a life of destruction and not understanding how you being stuck in emotionalism keeps you trapped forever. Now, before we dive in, I'm going to show you today's MBT Celeb Spotlight, and this is from Silas, and he goes, "Casey, seriously, I've been watching your videos for 3 days, took me straight out of the friend zone first day. If that's not a success story, I don't know what is." If I've watched guys actually have those sorts of results with MBT, then I know that I can help you too. So what I want you to do after this video is over is I want you to go down below, register for that free webinar that I put together for you. It's going to totally transform your life, because I know masculine behavioral techniques is the exact process you need to get you from A to B, and B meaning the quality of, women in relationship and dating life that you actually want. Let's dive in. Okay, as a man, these are the 5 categories in life that you're 100% going to want to capitalize on. And I'm going to explain how each of these work. Okay, the very first aspect that you need to capitalize on as a man, straight up, I'm going to tell you this, is dominance. Now, this is dominance in your attitude, dominance in your demeanor. And what dominance really is it's you taking lead. This is you taking lead in your own life. Okay, this is you assuming your own authority. This is you setting a frame, okay, and boundaries within relationships and expectations. And what this boils down to, especially in the eyes of a woman, is it looks like you have risk or capacity of aggression. Now, in the world we live in today, you're going to hear people say the word aggression is bad or aggression is toxic. This couldn't be further from the truth, and here's why. If you have controlled aggression where you're stable, okay, so like you're not crazy where you're going to go beating people up, but you're strong and you're able to control that, okay, this registers in a woman's brain as safety. Now, you have to make a woman feel safe. Like when she looks at you, she has to be able to look at you and see physically that, like, hey, if I was in danger, this man could protect me. That's why 100%, like, what you're going to want to start to check the boxes for is improving your muscle mass and improving your capability to be strong. There really is nothing that makes up for like the physical look of a man. Like when you say the word a man, if he's strong and attractive, that has a specific look. You can't bypass that. Okay, you're going to have to want to capitalize on that in your life. When you can demonstrate safety, you now have the ability to protect her. So how is this like shown, or how is this demonstrated? Because I'm going to tell you this, you can have the most amount of muscle in the world and you can look phenomenal, but if you don't have the correct sub-communication when you're speaking to a woman or when you're engaging in public or whatever, okay, you're going to look like there's something off. So what that means is your eye contact has to be dialed in. You have to have an element of seriousness, okay, and being able to be serious and stoic under pressure. And this is complemented by the stature and the physique that you build. Okay, this overall is what makes up dominance when a woman looks at a man. Now, once you have tackled this side of things, the next step that you're going to have to master is the internal traits. Because the internal traits of a man shows true masculinity. And there's absolutely no way to demonstrate and show real masculinity without the element of stoicism. So the element of stoicism is you being able to endure emotional pain and or hardship without cracking under pressure. Okay, this is extremely important. This shows you're resilient. This shows you're able to handle stress. You're able to handle hardship. Okay, what this means in the real world, in the real life, is like you're going to go through things. Okay, I've went through things. Everybody's went through things. Your parents have went through things. My parents have went through things. Your friends have went through things. Everybody goes through things. Please, for 1 second, don't think just because I'm the dude on the camera that you believe like I'm like I'm not human, because I am too. There's this preconceived notion, especially in a lot of these online spaces, where when guys look up to an influencer, when guys look up to somebody they watch on YouTube, they think that they're no longer human because they have a following or they have clout in certain areas. Couldn't be further from the truth. You will have to be stoic and strong in life and endure emotional pain. And what that actually means deep down on a core level, what that looks like is if you're married, one day your wife may leave you, okay? And you're gonna have to be able to sit with that. If you're a teenager, you're like your dad might have a heart attack and pass away. Like, these are real world things. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm giving you examples. Like, in the real world, shit happens, which means you got to be training yourself daily to be resilient. If you're not resilient, this world is going to completely fuck you up. It will crush you. You have to be aware of this. So how do you do this? Well, you do this by not wearing your emotions on your sleeve. Emotions are good to feel, but they're not good to consistently demonstrate and let them lead you. If you're led by your emotions, okay, what's going to happen is that you're going to consistently make poor decisions. And I'm going to explain why in a second. When you're quiet and to yourself, okay, which means you can sit in silence and you're okay being alone, this is the key to understanding how to endure long-term emotional pain and resiliency. So what you start to see when you're quiet and to yourself is that your real power comes within. Power can come from silence, okay? It's what you don't say instead of what you do say. Now, when you demonstrate this, you're going to start to see that you become a man who doesn't fold under pressure. I'm going to tell you exactly how to adapt this mindset instantly right now, because for some of you, this is going to be really heavy because your circumstances in life make you feel like this is damn near impossible. Your ability right now, okay, do this with me right now, your ability to remove care, okay, this is it. Here's how you become stoic instantly. You remove care. You literally have to say, I don't give a fuck. I don't give one fuck. Like, I don't care. I'm going to live my life the way I want. I'm going to do me. Okay, no matter what's happened in the past, no matter what, like, it doesn't define me. I don't give a fuck. Like, if things didn't work out, I'm going to stay strong and stoic under pressure. This is important. Now, I don't mean to swear, but I did it for emphasis, because you got to understand, your ability to remove care is just super, super, super important. If things go wrong in the world, if things go wrong with a woman, if things go wrong at any time, literally just chalk it up and say, I don't care. You get fired from your job, your boss lets you go, you chalk it up, you say, I don't care, I'll move on, I'll find something better. This is important. Stoic under pressure. Now, when a man has stoicism in his life, the number 2 and the number 3 things that women are going to be looking for at all times is a man who can demonstrate risk and being a successful risk taker and understanding how to demonstrate thrill. Okay, I'm going to explain how these go hand in hand. Let's look at risk for a second. If you're a risk taker who's successful with your endeavors, and no matter what that is, you are now competent. The more competent you are with your endeavors, like, the more badass you seem. And it doesn't matter what that is. It could be business, right? You take a big business risk and it plays off. You look like a stud because you just accomplished something. Okay, another risk. Let's say you're doing something, like, let's use a real life example. You're on vacation. There's some cliff. People are scared to jump off it into the water. You jump off, you do a backflip, you land, you're fine. Okay, now that could be risky and you could get hurt, but let's say in the fact you didn't, being a successful risk taker in that situation is extremely attractive to women. So women find this attractive, and just overall how you live in the world with pure intent. When you wake up every day with pure intent to chase your goals, accomplish your dreams, what's going to happen is slowly over time, I'm going to tell you this, you're going to become irreplaceable, because 99% of guys fold in life and they get really content. They get content with their body, they get content with their business, they get content with who they are. Like, the second you're living in, like, content in any way, shape, or form, your job, your occupation, whatever, you need to be striving for excellence. The reason why you need to be striving for excellence at all times is because if you don't, you start to develop downtime. Anytime a man has downtime and idle hands, you're going to notice this. You fill it with hedonism. You're going to fill it with women. You're going to fill it with lust. Okay, you're going to fill it with going to the bar and drinking. You're going to be filling it with smoking. You're going to be filling it with playing video games. That sloth-like behavior is the quickest way to emasculation. So when you live with pure intent, you understand, like, you now are a successful risk taker. You have a leg up compared to the modern world. Now, let's look at thrill. The reason why you need to bring thrill and atmosphere is because women hate boring men, women hate men without adventure, and women hate men with no purpose. Now, you might be wondering where you're saying, well, Casey, I'm going to bring all these things, and if I do this, what does she bring to the table? Okay, you're in for good news, because when you get to this point in your life, you can actually start to disqualify women from relationships. Okay, now, that doesn't mean you can't see women, that doesn't mean you can't hang out with women, that doesn't mean you can't go on dates, but what I'm telling you is that when it comes to actually real life dating, you're now a man who can actually have stricter qualifications. The reason why you can have stricter qualifications is because if you're bringing X to the table, you can now be a man who has leverage in the relationship where she has to bring Y out of it, or she's not going to receive your utmost commitment. Like, this is basic 101. This is how to be a man and how to demonstrate value in the sexual marketplace. Now, when you do this, you're going to chalk up to the last point. Okay, the last point at all times is you have to be at the cause of her emotions. What that means is you're not an effect of hers. When you see most men live, what's going to happen is that at all times they're in the effect of her emotions. And what that means is, depending on what the woman that he's seeing, or the woman he's trying to talk to, or maybe the girl he's scared to go talk to at, the mall or whatever the case, her like approval towards him dictates how he feels about his level of manhood. And that's not how it works, okay? When you're at the cause of her emotions, you are living your life with intent, and the woman who's in your life because she likes the frame and the setup that you have and who you are, she's going to stick. What that means is that you at all times need to be the cause of her emotions and her emotional roller coaster. You are never in effect of hers. This is very important. The way you do this, you might be saying, well, Casey, women occupy a large part of my time. I want to do X, Y, Z. I want to get married. I want to have a girlfriend. I want blah, 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 blah. Okay? Here's what you got to understand. Women have no real power, especially as you over a man who's full grown. And I'm going to explain why. Women can't hurt you. Like, think about that. They can't actually, like, hurt you. They can't go beat you up. And they can't take your birthday away. So if things go south with a woman, the most you're going to get is probably like an earful over the phone, or you're going to get a bunch of paragraphs. Okay? I know that I probably sound like a prick, but that's what's going to happen. That's the most that probably 9 times out of 10, if the woman's sane. Okay, most people are sane to some degree where they're not going to go do something extremely wild, but that's probably what's going to happen most. Because of that, think about how freeing it is to know that you can live life on your own terms and there's essentially no repercussions for if things go south. That's super cool. Like, that's the power that a man has that 99% of guys don't know that they actually have. The reason why the world doesn't want you to know that is because this would make women vulnerable to some degree, where you'd have an element of control over your dating life. This is something most guys don't have. They chalk it up to fate. They chalk it up to fate. They say, well, she wasn't the one, or they're going to say things like, if it happens, it happens. Okay, if we just click and there's chemistry, then it'll work out. It's not how it works. You either demonstrate the right attraction triggers in life or you don't. So, when you're in the cause of her emotions, you're not in the effect of hers. Here's what you got to understand. Women have no real power. They can't hurt you. They can't beat you up. They can't take your birthday away, but yet men still act like a little bitch. And they think that, their circumstance leaves them in a series where they can't get out of it. They think that their identity is fixed and they can't grow. They believe that, there is one specific girl for them, or they believe that they're unattractive to some degree and they're not going to be able to get out of their shell if they're shy. These are basic traits that men have to erase and how to get rid of. So as a man, emotions lead you astray. What you feel is going to lead you astray. If you can operate daily on cold calculation, if you can operate daily on being strong and grounded in who you are, if you don't need anyone's approval, right? If you don't need anything, you're going to see how even men, what will happen is they're going to get invested in egotistical behavior where they need a lot of materialism. You're going to see men who are rich or successful, they will consistently need a bigger house, a better car, status symbols to show more and more and more. And despite a lot of the external things, here's what you got to know. People who are acquiring a lot of external things or external strength symbols, it's because deep down on the inside, they have a lot of weak internal symbols. So this is what you have to remember, it's cause and effect. Emotions lead a man astray. Your God-given purpose is the only thing that can fill your cup, not women. In no way, shape, or form is a woman ever going to fill your cup compared to your God-given purpose. And here's the funny thing too. The second you are on your God-given purpose, consistently building this is a life that women want to come into, and they stick. And they stick because it's very, very hard to replace you. This is why being focused in life is so important, okay? If you have elements of downtime to recover, that's great. But for the meantime, you need to be working 8, 10, 12 hours per day, and you need to be occupied. And it doesn't all have to be work that's related to your career, but you have to be busy and you have to be stacked. And that stems into your social life. That's going to stem into your work life. That's going to stem into your social calibration, which is also going to stem into your earning potential. This is how you be one hell of a guy. So here's the thing. These are the traits most men are missing. And you can do, I'm going to tell you this too. When you're so focused on yourself and your own stuff, these are the traits where most people are going to look at you and go, oh, he's toxic, right? He's egotistical. Oh, he's self-centered. Let them talk. Well, they run their mouth and they bitch. What you got to know is most guys don't have a very good life. So these are the things to not be average. So I hope you like this video. If you did, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.